There's a strange kind of fog that finds us in life, not heavy enough to stop us, not loud enough to break us, but persistent enough to haunt us. It settles between decisions. It clings to our thoughts. It shows up in our breath when we say, "I don't know what to do." We call it confusion. But what if confusion isn't a lack of clarity at all? What if confusion is what rises when you resist a truth that's been knocking on your door? What if the fog is not the problem? What if the fog is the signal? Because the truth is, most of the time, you know what doesn't feel right. You know what you've been ignoring. You know what would need to change if you let yourself finally admit what's rising. But that truth, it would cost something. It would require you to become someone bolder, someone clearer, someone less afraid. And that is why we create the fog. Not because we're broken, but because we're scared. Scared of what happens when we let go of pretending we don't know. So confusion becomes the safe space, the in-between, the sacred delay. We use it like a blanket. We wrap ourselves in, "I'm not sure," but deep down, we're not unsure. We're just unwilling to face what we already know. But here's what nobody tells you. Confusion is sacred. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's not your mind falling apart. It's your soul trying to speak in a language your mind hasn't remembered yet. Confusion isn't the void. It's the overflow. It's what happens when something true is trying to rise, but you haven't made room to receive it. You felt it, that inner ache, that tightening in your chest, that knowing that refuses to go away no matter how much you try to talk yourself out of it. That's not confusion, that's wisdom, that's resonance, that's truth. And truth doesn't arrive neatly. It arrives with heat. It arrives with disruption. It arrives with the power to unmake everything you built out of fear. But it also comes with freedom. Freedom that begins the moment you stop asking the world to confirm what your body already knows. You don't need another sign. You don't need another plan. You need to get quiet enough to listen. Because your intuition, it's not missing. It's buried beneath all the ways you've learned to override yourself. The moment you stop calling it confusion and start calling it what it is, avoided truth, you begin to wake up. Your body starts to speak. Your energy becomes honest. Your choices stop draining you. You no longer force what isn't for you. You no longer beg for answers that live inside your silence. You no longer pretend that confusion is anything other than the birth canal of remembrance. From here, your life begins to rearrange. Gently, but powerfully. You start honoring the fog, not as failure, but as a threshold, a sign that something is shifting, a cue to turn inward, not outward, a reason to pause, not panic. You begin to live differently, not from fear, but from truth. Not from noise, but from stillness. And even when confusion visits again, and it will, you'll know. You'll recognize its shape. You'll hear its whisper. And instead of saying, "I don't know," you'll ask, "What truth am I avoiding right now?" And just like that, the fog begins to part. Not because you figured it all out, but because you stopped pretending you were lost. You were never confused. You were always remembering. You were always becoming ready. And now,